What's so wrong? Okay. Yeah.
He's been doing whatever he can to try to ruin Christmas
for
everyone.
Okay. Let's turn the TV down so you guys can hear me. Because today we got big stuff to talk about. All right, is that good? My house smells like a candy cane. I got my diffuser going. I'm a Young Living rep. Nobody knows that. Only because I get a better deal on buying my own stuff. And I need to get more. Are you okay now? How about mommy will just sit here with you, okay? Shh. All right, guys. This is the life of mommy. Okay, now you have to be very quiet. You ready? Shh. Hey. Quiet. There you go. Okay, so the topic of today's video goes along with Transformation Tuesday, and I'm going to tell you my big secret that took me from this picture to today. And this picture. So, I have tried everything out there. Hey, if we're not gonna watch the show, let's make it quieter. Oh, okay. Sit right here. Mommy will stay right here, okay? Santa Claus! Okay, so maybe this is why I'll never be a super popular YouTuber, but you're just gonna have to follow me and listen as I make Riker's dinner. Cora's upstairs with brother. She's in a phase right now. All she wants is him. So she is eating vegetables. Literally before that meltdown you just saw, she said, "Yay, vegetables." My kids love the mixed steamed veggies, you know, where it's like corn, peas, green beans, and carrots. They go nuts for it. So let's get some bread. Sorry guys, this is my life. I can't ever focus on anything at one time. I've been dealing with weight trouble since probably since I was like 10 or 11. I was overweight, and I don't mean like, I was never like obese, but it wasn't just baby fat either. Like, I remember being in middle school and my grandma would always take me clothes shopping for school, and I switched to a private school where I had to wear a uniform, and they were pretty lax about like the uniform, I guess. So it just had to be like colored shirts and like these colors and stuff like that. And so my grandma took me to the loft, like Ann Taylor, the loft. And I think that's what it's called, right? Or are those two separate things? I don't know. So I was the size of like a grown-ass woman wearing like an 8 when I was in middle school, and didn't carry it well. I wasn't an athlete, and it created a lot of disordered eating habits because, you know, I was diet this, diet that, and then I would binge eat. And I've always blamed it on the fact that I'm the oldest of 4 kids. You know, we lived in military housing and ate, like, we shopped at the commissary and stuff like that. Like, not to say that everybody who does that is like poor or whatever, but we had a lot of kids to feed on an enlisted sailor's salary. And so when my mom would spring for like the good stuff, we would gobble it up. And so I remember like going downstairs at night and like eating when nobody like was around so that I could get stuff before it was gone. And then I would eat more than I needed because I didn't want my brothers or sisters to eat it all. Isn't that terrible? So, you know, I've talked about it before on my blog. I think I struggled with an eating disorder through high school and through most of college and a good portion of my 20s. I mean, I believe that eating disorders never go away. They're like alcoholism. Like, you're never healed, you're never cured, you're always an alcoholic, you're always somebody with, you know, an eating disorder history. And so, I lost the weight in high school though, had a terrible breakup in college, and ballooned back up to like 170 pounds, which is the picture that I used in my before. And I joined the Navy because I was running away from that breakup, and also because I craved the structure. So I just graduated from college and I thought that would be really good for me. And it was. And funny enough, I met Vic like almost instantly, right after boot camp. So I'd been in the Navy for about 4 months when we met. And you could call it dating, but he deployed about 6 weeks after 8 weeks, I guess, after we met. So we dated hot and heavy for that first little bit. He deployed, we stayed together. We moved in together like that next year. So fast relationship. But during that time, because he was athletic, I wanted to keep up with him. I wanted to impress him. And so while he was deployed, that was when I really got into fitness, I guess you could say. I did the Men's Health Urban Athlon, which was a 10-mile run through downtown Chicago with obstacles, which was a lot of fun. I did a 9/11 run. It was 9.11 miles. And never had to walk. And I remember that's when I started setting goals like that. Like, it wasn't perfection. It was just, you know, do this and see it through. And, but my eating was still all over the place. You know, I was still going out and drinking a lot, drinking like a sailor. I was eating pizza and like shit like that. I had lost a lot of weight in boot camp, and I understood healthy eating in that, like, I remember not eating their meat because it scared the shit out of me because it was covered in like sauce in the galley. And I would eat vegetables, Kashigo Lean Crunch. I remember that's when I started eating like tomato sandwiches. But the thing is, like, I understood what healthy food sources were, but I was eating like next to no calories. I fell into that 1,000 to 1,200 calories. Those are the perfect amount for you to lose weight, and that's what I was surviving off of. And eventually, you know, I was weightlifting. I was following Jamie Eason's trainer from bodybuilding.com. I was running. I was doing insane amounts of cardio. I remember on Sundays I would go and watch hours of football, like the whole day of football from the treadmill. And you know, so then we get married, and to get ready for our wedding, I bought a treadmill, and I was running like crazy. I love to run, so it's not like punishment for me. But I was running, you know, at least an hour a day, 6 to 7 days a week. So, you know, I was putting in close to 40 miles a week. And again, during the week, I remember I was always really good about packing my lunches. Vic and I like to go out to eat, and so I didn't want to waste my going out to eat money on my coworkers. So I would pack our food, and I'd be really good during the day, or like say I was really good during the week, and then on the weekends, you know, we'd go to Cheesecake Factory and order appetizers upon appetizers and entrees and dessert and cocktails, and that's how the whole weekend would go. So I'd eat, you know, 1,000 calories during the week, and then I, you know, now that I see macros like the Matrix, I was probably eating like 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day on the weekends, like not even joking. And then I would get frustrated during the week because I was doing all this hard work and I wasn't getting anywhere. I have to delete something from my camera. Hold on. Okay, now I have more memory. I had to delete yesterday's stuff. So, you know, here I was frustrated, spinning my wheels because I was putting in a lot of effort. I was easily working out at least an hour to 2 hours a day. Weights and cardio, both in there. I've always been, you know, kind of strong in the gym. During the week, you know, eating lots of lean protein and vegetables and stuff like that. And then on the weekends, I was binge eating like a fucking fool. And I remember I thought like it was cool that I could eat as much as my husband. And honestly, I was maintaining my weight for the most part. I used to always just sit at about 150 pounds, between 150 and 155. And I remember telling Vic it was like physically impossible for my body to get below like 148. Like it was just never gonna happen because I had been that weight for so very long, like from like sophomore year of high school on. And I wasn't really putting on any muscle or anything. So Vic got me to try CrossFit, and I really enjoyed CrossFit. I liked the community of it. I liked that the intensity and the strength part of it, and that I was seeing, you know, oh, I did this last week and now I can do this. So I liked that, and I'm very competitive, so that helped me a lot. I never went in just doing my own thing. I always was trying to do better than at least someone. So thrived in that, and that's when I found paleo. Oh, paleo. So I'm a researcher. I read all the books. I read all about the Whole30. I read all of the cookbooks. I still have a million of them. They all have to do with bacon. I ate a shit ton of bacon. Like we're buying bacon by the fucking case at Whole Foods. I'm not kidding. Cases of bacon, millions of eggs, and all these nuts, and that they're all great foods. I eat all of that today. But the whole like unchecked quantity thing about paleo, like just eat until you're full, is fucking crazy. Okay, so what happened when I went on paleo? I got fat. Yeah, I did a paleo challenge where it was essentially a Whole30, and I was doing it with other people, and it had workouts that were added into it where you were tracking progress. And so I lost a little bit of weight during that, but I think it was like 4 pounds or something. It wasn't nearly what I was hoping for, you know? So paleo was a fucking waste. I still think there's a lot of good things about it, okay? The whole idea, Cora's crying. Riker must have pissed her off. I still think the whole idea about like whole foods and knowing like where your food comes from and choosing, you know, the basics of paleo, I think are a good thing. But it's really no different than like any other healthy diet. Just the thing that drives me crazy about paleo is they're like, don't macro count, don't do this, don't worry about like your quantity, just eat healthy. Well, you can get very fat and very unhealthy eating healthy foods. Sorry. So I did that. I remember in college, I did this crazy diet from a Russian, like straight from Russia, a friend of mine, where it was like a whole week of buttermilk and apples. And you would have a cup of buttermilk and an apple like every 3 hours. It was fucking terrible. And I did that. I did the lemonade one with the cayenne pepper. Yep. Jesus, I've fucking done them all. And here's the secret. You want to know which one I found that changed everything. And I didn't find it until after I had had Cora, and I had gone through 2 pregnancies with a bunch of weight gain, and there's nothing harder than the postpartum period, let me tell you. Everyone tells you it's gonna suck, but you really aren't prepared for the fact that like you look like you're 6 months pregnant after you have a baby. It's fucking rough. And it's hard to get off, and you're sleep deprived, and you're tired, same thing, and you're drowning in baby, and it's a lot. And so I went through all of that, and I found Renaissance periodization, and there was something about the division of meals and the division of macros that clicked. Here I was eating all the same foods, still doing my same workouts, but the timing and the portion sizes changed my world. Also, I wasn't eating vegetables at every meal. I do now, thanks to RP, and I loved that. That changed a lot too. So I did my first cut, ran it by myself, a 12-week cut on RP. I lost 17 pounds. Cost me $100 to buy the template. Go check them out. They're the fucking shit. I did that, and I thought, wow, I can, you know, put my head down and see a goal through. I want to do a bikini prep. And so that's how I got into competing. So RP isn't the magic pill. That's not what I'm saying. The magic pill is consistency. The magic pill is finding a plan and then following it through. Now, for some people, it's gonna be a meal plan. If that works for you, that's great. I'm not that kind of person. I need more control. I like having macros. I will throw temper tantrums and think about how I don't wanna have a coach anymore. Like, I just wanna be my own person. And I don't I don't want to do that because I don't want to just be the average person. I want to be better than the average. I want to continue to improve. And for me, it helps having somebody to push me and to give me those parameters. And so you don't need that. You can do it with templates. You can build your own off the internet. You can get a coach, whatever it is. But the point is, you have to find something that is balanced, and you have to find something that you stick to. And then you have to make adjustments depending on your goals along the way. But you have to set like a time period and see it through. Because the thing that failed with all of that stuff for me was that I wasn't pushing for improvement. I would get frustrated when things didn't work within the first like 3 weeks to a month, because I understood the whole 3 weeks to form a habit. But like if it didn't happen within 3 weeks, I was pissed. And then I'd move on to something else, and then I'd binge eat. And you have to decide that you're going to do something, and you have to stick with it. Consistency. That is the meal plan, the diet, the whatever you want to call it, that changed everything for me, that got me from my before to my after, was consistency and tracking progress. I'm a data-driven person, you already know that. And so even just things like Instagram, time hop, oh my gosh, pops up and I'm like, wow, look at how far I've come. Taking pictures, writing down your measurements, weighing yourself, not weighing yourself, depending on what your goal is. I'm trying to bump my calories up right now, and I know that if I weigh myself, I will make it more difficult for me to increase my intake. So my clothes fit all exactly the same, and so my intake is going up without me freaking out. But it's just whatever it is, it's about being consistent about it and not getting frustrated after 3 to 4 weeks and then quitting and throwing a temper tantrum and setting yourself back probably to where you're worse off than before you started whatever half-brained, new thing it was that you tried. So eat healthy food, indulge in some good stuff every now and then, keep track of what you're doing. Paul talks about this, and this is what I have people do as well. Like, the best thing you can do is start keeping a food diary, even if it's not like tracking every macro or tracking every gram of food and weighing it out. Just write it down in general. I had a big bowl of cereal. I used roughly this much milk. And then I had a small salad. I had a big steak that night. I ate some chicken. Write all of that down. And then after a week, look at your habits. Write down how you're feeling each night. Write down how you feel each morning. Write down how your workouts are going. And just go off of that. It doesn't have to be exact data. Just start identifying trends and stick with something long enough to where you can really look at what that trend was and see what it means. And it can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be this huge plan. It can simple and consistent. And that's how you get somewhere. So I have to take Riker his cold grilled cheese sandwich because I'm a negligent mother who is talking to you instead of doing this. But I hope that made sense. I wish, it's one of those things though that you can hear a million times, and until you really do it, it's not going to click that was what you needed to do. It wasn't until I had like a goal and I was like, okay, I want to get on stage. Or even before that, when I did the cut, I joined the group. Find like-minded people, find your community. I joined the RP group, and I had thousands of people who were doing the same thing. And so I went on for accountability and said like, hey, I start tomorrow. And there was a ton of people who were like, yeah, that's awesome, you're gonna do great. And then I was present, and I asked questions, and I put my opinion out there. I lamented all of my hunger pains with them and got support when I needed it. And it really is just as simple as that. Don't suffer in silence doing the same thing over and over again and wondering why things aren't changing, because that's ridiculous. So I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. We now have a doctor's appointment for Cora at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go give Riker his grilled cheese sandwich, and Vic should be home any minute with children's Motrin, and I think he's picking up some Little Caesars. So I gotta get his overnight oats ready for tomorrow, and I think I'm having another serving of my white chocolate French toast. I posted it to Instagram the other night, so if you're not following me on Instagram, you should. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna get this up real quick. It's gonna be like uncut and crazy. So I hope you guys have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Mwah.